Aside from the thumbnail looking really, really dumb. Anyways, Ready Player One. That is the movie that's going to be talked about in this. So, I want to welcome you back to another YouTube video, you beautiful hosers, because today is another one of those fantastic, lovely reviews that we like doing on this channel. Now, some reviews do better than others. Unfortunately, Black Panther was one of the ones that, for my reviews anyways. But Ready Player One has been out for a couple days now. Now, first thing you should know about this movie is it is based off of the book. Now, if you've read the main book, you're going to see a few odd differences here and there and some stuff that actually doesn't make sense. Now, I can tell you one thing, is this actually has the writer on board that made the book that helped develop the film, so he came up with the extra characters. But a lot of people really don't like that sort of idea because the book was considered canon. Now, the movie is also considered canon, so some things don't exactly add up and make any sense. But I can definitely confirm the acting is extremely well done in the film. The 3D is actually done better than 90% of Marvel films to date. The visual effects were absolutely stunning. Their facial animations are actually rivaling some other movies that have come out in the past. Hello, Dice Golden. Welcome to the stream. The other thing I can mention is the soundtrack that they actually used in this film is actually music that I grew up listening to, so I actually enjoy that more in that film than listening to some of today's music, which kind of varies between being crappy and being good and just borderline I want to fall asleep. But this movie actually has a great pace that they had set throughout the entire thing. Now, they climax a couple times in the movie, and then all of a sudden it gets higher each and every climax that they're doing. For a rough example that is spoiler-free, is about halfway throughout the film, you pretty much think the film's just about to end there, but it actually doesn't, and then it goes on later to explain why. But the main part is does this movie have replayability, which will make you want to watch it over and over again? I'm going to have to say yes. This is one of the few films that I actually plan on buying and watching over and over again. And this movie, I can 100% confirm, is an Easter egg nightmare. What I mean by that is there is so much stuff that they compacted into a 2-hour film that it's just hard to pick out one spot and then admire it. There was a lot of games. There was a huge plethora that they included in this. A lot of things that had been referenced from the 80s and 90s arcade games. And there's a couple of special references to actual real-world people that they actually used in that film. Now, you gotta have a keen eye for detail in that part, but it actually is there. Now, the other thing I also want to bring up is that the film actually does a good job of adjusting the lighting. When they go from a dark scene to a transition of a light scene, they don't just splash that light on you like you're about to die. They actually transition it in such a way that it doesn't hurt your eyes. Now, I said that about Wrinkle in Time, that it hurts the eyes. Well, this is complete opposite, and this is actually made by a group that I haven't seen make a movie in a very, very long time. Now, this isn't spoiling the film, but we all remember the guys that made E.T. Well, the guys that helped make that film actually had a part in making this film. Now, the group of people that they actually used for the film actually fit into the film. They made sense towards the plot, the scenery, etc. They didn't actually seem like they were misplaced, like some films have that odd little gap where they're talking about one thing, and all of a sudden you see an Easter egg from another movie that shouldn't actually be there, because it's not canon, it's not the same universe, unless you're talking Deadpool, because obviously he's going to talk about real world stuff and break the fourth wall consistently. But anyways, that's as much as I can go on and cover spoiler free. So before I head into the spoilers, what I'm rating this movie is actually a 9.6. There is a couple of odd spots here and there that are kind of missing, or actually to the point where you're just confused as to what just happened. But overall, this film actually does a good job of explaining what's happening and then pointing out what you may have missed. But the main flaw that I can pick out is some of the animations from the background characters are not entirely all there. Now that you've stuck around this far for the review, before I jump into the spoilers, I just want to say one more thing. Is generally with movies like this, a person has a certain mindset where they're saying, okay, so they're going to be showcasing all these game characters, my bad, for certain length of time. Some of them are longer than others, but I understand. There's certain things that if you were actually watching it on widescreen, you would actually see some of the Easter eggs that I may have missed while I was in the theater. I didn't stay for the entire credit to know if there was an after scene, but from what I seen was actually good enough to leave me satisfied and wanting more. Now, I didn't exactly read the book when it came out, so I'm kind of ignorant in that space, just from my perspective of being ignorant to it all. It's a great film to watch if you have not read the books. But, unfortunately, now we have to jump over to the spoilers. So, if you're not into that sort of thing, I suggest you click off now, because this is kind of the area where I get into spoiler territory. Now, spoiler territory, generally, I can ruin the movie for a person, and or say something that might actually piss a person off. But, I apologize for that, but that's just the way these reviews go. Anyways, jumping into the spoiler section, you can see a lot of characters that weren't actually showcased. I film my own scenes in my series. It's great. You can see a lot of characters that weren't actually out and designed back when the book originally released, but I like the fact that they actually incorporated them in. Now, the other thing I want to point out is their King Kong looks more gorilla-like than George from the Rampage trailer, and I watched the entire trailer just before that movie, and I'm still not sold on that movie. I believe King Kong more than I do in George. It's kind of saddening when they show one thing, and then you watch the movie and you're like, well, you know, he could have actually been in this over that. Kind of doesn't really correlate very well, but that's kind of the thing they go for. Now, another spoiler that I want to point out is the way they ended it is kind of similar to some romantic comedies. Now, there are actually a few gags in this movie. A few gag characters, too, I must add. From the Easter egg hunting retrospective, I think that's the word I want to use here, there's a few things here and there that actually make the film more enjoyable than just sitting there relaxing. Now, I know when I buy it, there's going to be chances that I have to stop the film and then see exactly who that character was. For example, there's one scene with Blue Beetle that absolutely stunned me. And it's kind of interesting that they actually incorporated them into it. Now, I think the main aspect of it is literally video games. I'm not sure if he's been in anything but Injustice, but he looks like he's wearing the standardized armor from Injustice 2. Not 100% sure on that one, but the Clark Kent that lookalike that they used is absolutely spot on. It's actually kind of ridiculous, to be honest. I wasn't expecting it at all. But overall, it just does a good job of filling every last aspect, making you want more, rather than just wishing the movie was over. Thank God the movie didn't have another Martha scene like Batman vs. Superman. I swear, that was the one scene that ruined that entire movie. And this one, they actually didn't do that. They actually did a good job of cross-referencing different games into this day, which I think it was 2045 in the movie. And in the books, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But overall, it's saying we're not too far off from the future of this tech. Now, through technological advancements, I actually believe this book could very well come true. We're getting to the point in our lives where everybody's worrying about crossplay, this, that, and the next thing, and where everybody loves VR chat. Now this, provided that somebody actually takes notes on it, is actually an amazing concept, and I can see it actually earning $1 trillion. Now, not everybody has a PC, not everybody has a TV, but from one perspective to another to this, I actually think it's highly plausible that by 2045 we could actually live in a future where the headsets actually can earn real currency. Series is called Living Under a Bridge. Okay. Haven't heard of it, but I might have to check it out after this. What else was I gonna say? Talking about tech, talking about that, seeing it actually happening. Now, as far as VR chat goes, I mean, it's a visual downgrade from what I've seen there, because, of course, it's a movie, so it'll have better animations. But I can actually see them within, I want to give them at least the next 10 years to actually get graphics like that for VR headsets. Now, in my opinion, it kind of reminisces to me the same thing of Sword Art Online. Minus the everybody's dying and ending up in hospitals side effect of it. But I just can't really say enough about this movie. I could go on and on and on and pretty much have a 3-hour segment of me dissecting the entire movie, but I really don't want to do that. Mainly because I gotta sleep. As I found out I got an early morning tomorrow. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and this review. My series is on my channel. I'm playing over 30 characters. Well, I've only got 2 characters on my channel. I got myself and I got Jared. Unfortunately, Jared never makes an appearance unless he's pissed about something. But anyways, I hope you're having a fantastic 2018. Oh, just before I forget, there is a live stream happening tomorrow. It is not Fortnite. It will actually be Battlefront 2. The live stream will be titled, Has EA Fixed This? Now, I can do the intro. Outro. I already did the intro. What the hell am I talking about? I hope you're having a fantastic 2018, and if you're not, I hope it gets better for you sooner rather than later. Peace out, and I will see you all in the next video, or live stream. It works out about the same thing now, doesn't it?